If I have your attention, I'd like to call the Personnel Committee to Washington County Board of Supervisors for today's date, the 24th of September, 2025, to order. Call finance to order. No. So the first thing we have on our agenda is we've got the call to order. We need to consider the 2026 Personnel Department budget request. And if we're referring to our book on the page 5 and 6 would be the revenue. Page 36, 39 would be the expenses. So let's start with the revenue on page 5 and then 6, if you would, please.
Okay, so there are a lot of changes. The revenue is based on our civil service exam fees that we receive in. And our EAP from the towns and villages, we received a little bit for that as well, to cover that. So that didn't change from all years, the revenue.
You know, civil service exam fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That side is-
Then next slide we'll have another.
that's-
And you know, it looks like you got 1,400, 1,100, and you're putting it up to 2,100. Do you think that that's gonna happen?
I don't see those numbers.
On bottom of page 5,
23, 24.
your personnel fees haven't reached that level in 3 years. It's actually trending downward. It looks like.
Okay, I know, well, actually,
Because with the,
it may with the civil service transformation, it may go down, actually.
in some of these ones, you're not even testing for it with the
Right,
act where they can
It's
fight
not-
people.
it's not totally there yet, but yeah, it is a possibility that that will
I
go
mean, I know
down.
it's only $1,000, but if we're not gonna get it.
Right. We are still having exams though. They haven't lessened from what we're having.
Right, but if your level hasn't increased, you have
Right.
reached that level in 3 years.
We
It
can
has
lower it
increased
then.
though, hasn't it?
No, it hasn't really.
No?
It's been pretty stable, so
1,000
you wanna,
or 1,100.
I would, I mean, maybe go down to 1,500. I mean, whatever you wanna do, I don't. It's not a huge number, Brian, I wanted to ask the question.
and with the transformation, I don't really know, because there's a lot going on in civil
So
service.
there'll be
so
no entry level exams, right?
So it could go down.
Hoping there won't be, I haven't received any.
I'm sure you only got 1,100 and it could go down from there, is what you're saying. So maybe you gotta take $1,000 out of it.
So taking it down to 1,100 or 1,000.
Yeah, I think you're probably,
Okay, do it. 1,100. That's not better for us though, because that was some revenue. so.
at this point though, $1,000.
Isn't that the helps program? It really isn't helping.
Well, that's what I was asking.
No.
They want us to cover that too, so.
All right. Any other questions on the revenue? If not, then we'll move on to page 36 and 39. Right.
So under my OT line, I did keep that level from last year. I did lower it $3,000 last year, so I kept it that way this year. Staff uses comp time a lot rather than overtime, so I like to keep it kind of at that level for that.
I'm gonna, I ask 2 questions.
Might get the 1,000 back here.
I got 1,000 back right here.
Yeah, you might.
Well, 2 things, your personal services went up, do you have like steps or something, cause for everybody else it's flat. So you must have some steps or something that
We
raised.
have 3 new,
Yeah.
newish employees that are still in.
And again, over the past 3 years, you haven't spent more than 800 in overtime, so maybe,
Trying to keep it down.
but you budgeting 3,000.
I did,
Maybe you can take 2,000 out of it and come back if you need,
if that's what you think would be best.
or at least 1,000, and it will balance 1,000 we just stole from your revenue.
Okay, let's do that.
And with less exams, you're gonna have less overtime.
Yeah,
And you haven't gone over 800 in 3 years, so
okay, so do the
closer
1,000.
we can get it this year, it's gonna be the best.
You just made $1,000. You got it.
There you go.
So bring that one down
2,000
to-
down.
you just
That's
bring that
that.
down to-
Good to go.
Okay.
bring it down to-
We go out there and do-
Taking away a thousand.
No, we're taking away 2.
Thank
There's
you.
no way through if you're gonna do less.
You haven't spent more than 800 in 3 years,
So we're taking down to 1,000.
yes. And if she needs more, she'll come back.
Oh, it's going down to 1,000 now?
Yes,
Okay.
Charles,
It'll be okay, I promise. It'll be
This
okay.
this sounds like it should be the general approach that we're gonna do in every department, that we're gonna take them down to
What they need,
what they have historically needed, and if they need to break above, we will get asks. We'll be managing much more tightly when we start going over.
I think it's the best we can do.
And at the end, we're not gonna have as much to have at the end like we usually do for a new fund balance.
You will have breakage, but you'll have a more realistic number, and you'll only be taxing on what you know.
And there will be other cases where you know it's going up and there might not be enough in there that you're gonna have to add to. That's,
So this is our theme for this budget season.
I think so.
well, it's kind of the theme for every budget season.
Yeah, it shouldn't be new.
No, this is kind of normal.
Well, we've
Go
counted,
through-
I think what he's saying is we've counted on breakage in the past, and we're gonna try to eat that breakage now.
Right.
I think.
But you'll
that's
still
like-
have breakage from people not being in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So,
That came across.
it was such a great favor for us.
Okay, I'll keep cutting. Next,
Trust me. Please trust me.
All right,
so our postage, I did remain the same where it does look like the actual was a little bit less there. We use our postage for our health insurance mailings, our civil service mailings. We are cutting back on that and using more of email correspondence, so I guess we could take a little bit away from there.
Like $500.
Sure. How much?
Take out, take out 5, they're gonna even 3,000. Somebody talked yesterday about the death of 1,000 cuts. This is that.
No, no problem, just couldn't hear which way, if they were bringing it to 500 or taking out 500.
Taking out 500.
I'm a little down.
So the next line did go up. We, every 3 years, we have to order labor law posters. So that's the $4,300 additional on that.
It's not funded? You have a requirement that's not funded? Huh.
We sure do.
Something today, huh?
what'd you eat this morning?
I did, maybe that's the
Yeah, there you go.
We do try to stay on top of our office supplies each year and order ahead.
I'm just
Yeah.
being facetious. to be
Okay.
honest. Nothing you did.
This ask too was a purchase of clothing. In the past, we purchased, some shirts for our staff for agilities and exams so that we have some sort of logo. So I wanted to do that next year and was requesting the use of the county logo. I don't know if that's what I do today or bring it back. So that's on,
In your office supplies line.
the office supplies line.
I guess what she's asking is, Brian, can she, or Sam, whichever of you,
Well,
can she just get that permission now and not have to come back again in 2026?
because we don't have a lot on the budget here, so we have a motion for her to, purchase those logos and.
Use of the county logo.
Use the Cook County logo on it, she's gonna utilize when they give a test.
$9,500 down.
What do you need?
Yeah, because personnel.
I'll make a motion.
Everybody's motion, do you have a second? Jay seconds it. Discussion, Dan.
Yeah, explain again what the logos are for, what shirts, clothing, I'd like to understand.
We do our physical agilities and our civil service exams. So in the past, with the past employees that we had shirts that we wore at those events, the agility
Okay.
and the exam, so that they know we're employees, kind of, you know.
And, yeah, and what happens to them at the end of the event? They're not good for another year?
Well, we have new employees. So,
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but.
You're probably right. That's one we might be able to just cut out because
I mean.
you either use your old shirt or just show up in a shirt, know you're in charge.
But,
we do now,
Yeah,
we do now,
but
but
if you buy.
I don't know,
one,
we've
They
seen
ought to last
a lot of
you
other
for your
departments, so
whole
we were
employment
just
here
kind
in
of-
town.
It's an
Unless
it's
you
an-
lose
it's
too
an
much
years.
weight, put it that way.
This budget is.
And they don't-
Why'd you look at Bob?
Yeah, you was looking at me.
I thought you were looking at Bob. Bob just.
We were in the same.
I mean, I'm gonna tell everybody, I'm gonna be the cheapest person in this
How much
room,
is it
so.
for just the
Yeah,
shirt?
how much is it?
it was up to $500.
Oh, so that's not, you got right to worry about? where do we start being big to worry about?
Uh,
I
nobody
put
said that,
500 in the line.
Nobody said it wasn't enough to worry. I think she was making it a big. I got out of the. I think.
Sure.
We are not one off on the labor laws. It says once every 3 years.
Mhm.
Does it have to be this year? Can we
Yes.
take up 4,600?
And no, it has to be this year.
What we buying? What we buying for that posters?
Labor law posters
So there's $4,000 worth of labor law posters?
that
They
we
must
have,
be some posters.
And we have no control over the price, which is the set.
we have,
We got a sign shop.
we have to,
Yeah, we have a sign shop. Can we buy one and then make copies?
Yeah.
It's constant up.
yeah,
We
they
looked
give
at that
us,
before.
they give us the updates throughout the year.
See what they-
And the posters, and we have 17.
Posters.
They
Can we-
did.
we're not- we put that- you can read-
They bought the shirt.
Alright, so let's try to get down here.
We gotta vote on the shirts.
Yes, you gotta vote on the shirts first.
Yes or no? I don't
Okay,
We can't
remember.
vote on it.
No saves $500.
so all in favor of the shirts, aye? Aye,
Finding it.
Nay.
carried.
$500.
Yeah, the only comment I have on the shirts, I know it's $500, I know we're trying to trim back, but the professionalism we expect out of our individuals goes a long way, and it starts for the first time they take their exam, to all the other stuff that goes there. We need to be setting the trend so that they don't say, well, this is a ragtag operation, we're just gonna go in and kind of, it's an image thing. It does help with the recruiting and with setting the standards of what you want those employees to do,
Probably helpful with the exam process still, but
to know who the hell the proctors are.
What do you need then?
If the personnel committee voted on the shirts, you're short. You're missing O'Brien, Wilson, Nolan, and Skelly, no. That's-
The 500 can come out.
Nothing personal against the personnel.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's not
So
gonna take-
Bob said ragtag, do we get the shirts back when they leave so we can reuse them?
We got-
As rag.
You come back, come back and ask for them.
Yeah.
Next year.
Well, or come back during the year if there's.
We haven't had them, so it's fine.
You can get a lot of church.
The ones that we looked at were 70.
He's getting on by about 30.
Ah.
Because he was.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't say no.
He like.
We keep on.
I've got,
30 seconds.
you got my South Carolina,
Mr. Skelly, didn't know.
gotcha,
It's okay, they're a no.
okay.
I'll ask next year.
Money coming up.
500 out.
So what about the poster?
We can't vote against them because the state's required.
But how, where do we put, how many posters?
We have 17 sets that we have to.
Goes
buy.
each town.
Well, it's for each building in the county.
County only owned properties?
So it's Burgoyne, here, public health, public defender, sewer district, highway.
And they get changed throughout the year?
Every
They,
three.
we receive each set. It's a 3-year, we buy them every 3 years because it's cheaper.
Okay.
So we get the documents sent every year with all of the updates that happen. And then throughout the year with this company that we use, they send any updates that happen throughout the year so that we don't really have to keep on top of that. They do it for us. So that if
They
there's
should
any
do that
labor
for
law
us.
change, they send
Yeah,
it.
okay, wait, how have we procured this? So last time we procured it, maybe the.
They're outside of personnel.
Did you buy it this year?
You both them in the town
Did you buy
hall.
it this year?
Highway barn.
Yeah.
So that,
With
You got
this
the
year's-
little ones, but it's the hourly wage, and you got the bigger one.
Good question.
I'm doing it. How much
Right,
is it?
so I can see what we have for.
This is like,
Oh, down at the.
yeah, when's it?
No reason these can be made.
That's what I'm saying. Why can't we make copies?
Let's,
The state.
We're in a meeting there. Let's try to, keep the conversation all
Daniel,
in
when's
some kind
the,
of order. I'll do my best.
when's the last time we procured this service? We know that this is the best company still.
Did it 3 years ago.
And they were the best deal.
It was the best bet,
And then you
yeah.
go to state.
She said. Ask her.
It's copyrighted.
Charles.
No, they don't have copyright.
Why can't we just order one set and go to Staples? It's pretty expensive per sheet, right? It sounds like.
I don't know the cost at Staples. These posters are, I mean,
Laminated,
yeah, and they're laminated.
and you get the update.
We have a
Yeah.
laminating
We
machine.
have a laminator here,
But
that would help.
We looked into this was long discussion, probably
you
7
too.
years ago, yeah. And then we looked into all that then, and part of the problem is if we get inspected, right, we get Department of Labor, which commonly do come into these farms, in different places, if we're not, don't have those updates on there, we're gonna get fined. And they look, that's one of the first things they look at. So that's why when we looked into it before, we found that it was worth it to buy it.
And I don't know if they have a copyright.
And we would save much money anyway if it's laminated.
I think
And our time, I mean, and somebody has to go to Staples and do that.
So
Did we buy it this year? December?
We may
Take it out
have,
of this
we may
budget.
have a little bit of money left this year that we could use.
Are they out?
I don't know that I have the full amount though. I'd have to,
Are they out?
Are they out yet?
Yeah, so not available yet.
I don't know.
Is,
Work with Brian on that, Danielle, because that might be a possibility.
just one other thought, you said we buy them every 3 years because it's cheaper. How much cheaper? Because I'm just looking at a big cash outlay this year. We bought a 1 year and then
Because it sounds like you're buying the posters and a service.
right.
You're not buying just the poster. You're getting all the updates and
So
everything.
they're giving us like a $320 discount for last time for doing.
So
We're doing a
$100
3-year-
a year.
3-year.
You know,
So
we're
it's-
missing a point here. If the state changes a law, we don't have to go through another company and pay them to let us know when the state changes the law. If the state changes the law, they have to notify, don't they? How can we not, why do we have to have a third party to tell us when the state changes the law? What you're saying doesn't make sense. That's all.
well, it's like the town. Okay, there's things that change at the town level that we don't notice that necessarily from the state. And we find out about when we come here, from other supervisors or whatever. Goes
So
back
in
to,
other words, they don't have to notify. They
well, they have to do
They
what they
don't play
do.
through the, legal ad. Plan Union, you read them pretty periodically.
Somebody.
I don't. Well,
I know you do, but.
I don't. But
Oh, you don't, okay. I don't.
You just
Other
read
people
one.
have.
It just use the bicycle stuff. And the fishing, yeah, the fishing.
Take it away from. Okay. I was just saying.
Okay,
Well, yeah, make it easy for it. You're right. Nobody raised it.
all right, so where do we end up here? You know, sure.
Just the 500 was taken off.
She's gonna follow with Brian to see if it can be done this year.
Right. Very good.
Used to have the books, all right.
But you're gonna check and make sure stuff in the rack is not gonna be outdated.
What's that?
Do it by the end of the-
Certain stuff,
Yeah.
what is she buying this year?
No, this is on the
I'm
sign.
trying to see what I have for breakage, see if I can purchase them.
We're talking about the signage, right?
Yeah.
Signage, not the shirts. That got defeated. So we're there.
Well, if you don't have enough breakage for the signs this year, you have enough for the shirts and you can use that in the year.
So contingency might be able to fund both. So I hope you work with Brian on that.
Okay. All right,
We'll see where that takes. us.
onward.
Gotcha. All right, next.
Is it 4,600 per year for 3 years?
One time.
Oh.
See, it's getting more palatable.
It's still unpalatable.
No, I never bring it. I bring something now. I have to make it more palatable.
And did we vote on?
Yes, I thought.
It
we
went to
did.
finance, you needed.
Yes.
Motion to allow Daniel to buy these super nice posters. Every 3 years. You get all the updates.
For the rest of the life.
The rest of your tenure.
Dave, you second that? Yeah. Dave seconded that. This is your committee.
Yeah, and why do we need a motion for that? That's what I don't understand.
It's in the budget, we don't need to vote.
We're doing it to be safe, Brian. Aye.
All right, very good. It's approved, whatever.
Right.
All right, next.
So, the contract expense line is for EAP, but the county is reimbursed based on the counts for this. So, I don't know if that actually, no, I'd have to talk to Al more about the reimbursement part of this.
So you've got 2,500 budgeted in the reimbursement side.
Right, and I think it's more than that. But we cut that.
You've got $2,472 and $2,586, so 2,500 is pretty close to
Yeah.
reality.
So that hasn't changed that amount. So I kept it as requested.
Dean, you got a question?
Nah, I'm gonna hold it till later.
Okay.
Okay, next line is meal reimbursement, just $100, the same as last year. We didn't need that last year. Based on conferences that we did attend, they covered our meals. So, but that is if we travel to or from conferences. If we're away, we come back, someone hits a fast food joint to cover that. So.
Any questions on that item? Hey,
Our dues are for our Civil Service Association, our HR Association, and our Workers' Comp Associations. These are memberships that were in those four. So that's their membership price. So I don't know if anybody has questions about that. We'll get into it more with the trainings.
this, what, next one?
And then our printing is just for our envelopes and open enrollment. We actually use county. Public health helps us out and then we reimburse them for the cost of printing that they do for us. For our open enrollment for health insurance.
How come that's taking such a jump this year?
I kept it, I mean, we can lower it. I kept it the same as what I did last year. It looks like we only spent $35.
Maybe
And you've never spent more than
Sorry,
six.
I'm on the wrong one.
Oh, you're on the next one.
Sorry, I was looking at the,
No, Jay, your question still, it comes back to Mr. Shaw's point. Is there a number that's too small to consider? Because
We can take out 200.
the most you spent is 86 and she's budgeting 300. Do you want $200 back? You can get it right here.
Yeah,
So
we can take out.
if you want a bunch of small cuts, we can make, I can encourage you to.
then that's got.
$100.
200 take out.
Take out 200 to 100. That's what I meant. Take out 200.
There you go, Jay. Don't beat yourself up, Jay. In the end, it worked out.
I've got your fund balance.
So the next line went up due to, I pulled the advertising money. From the past, we haven't used a ton of that because we've used Indeed more for postings. The reasoning I moved it into the education and training is to get more into the social media AI and website integration for our employment opportunities. I know there's a lot more of that and we don't know a lot about it, about AI and how HR can help with advertising employment and things like that. So I did move that. I don't know of any particular trainings right now for it, but it's why I moved the money there.
That's one I just sent you, I think,
Yeah,
in
So you
HR,
want
AI.
$3,000 more in training.
yes, that's what I put there.
But the total's the same as last
You
year.
took it out of everything.
I took it out of advertising and moved it to education and training.
Done a different line.
There was a big conversation yesterday about trying to whittle down some of that training where we could, that's all.
And the thing with my training, so that this has to do with my travel plan too, I can bring it up. So when we attend these conferences, I have a few that have to do with HR and workers' comp. So when the agendas come out, I make sure that it's valuable for us to even attend these conferences. So a lot of the times, if they're local and we can go to that, it's a lot cheaper than going away. Like, we didn't go this year to Oswego and the other places because the agenda wasn't as valuable, I thought, for our staff. So we didn't end up going, so I saved that money. And that's kind of what I look at with these anyways, like, we'll only go if they're valuable. The one that is a definite is our Civil Service Officers Conference, which is in Lake George this year. And, we do request overnight for that because of the evenings that we, mix and mingle with all of the personnel officers in the state, so that's one definite that I'd like to keep. The others, I'm more than willing to, be flexible on that. But,
Who goes to that?
Yeah.
it depends on which staff in the office works with, like, workers' comp, it's usually Patty and Stephanie. HR, it's Christina and Sandra, usually. So, my new person is doing the Civil Service Institute, which is free, so she's being educated there. And then myself, I do go to, the HR and the civil service ones as well. The workers' comp, though, I usually send the other staff to.
So one in Lake George is a 2-day and 1 night over, and how many people go up for that? And I'm just looking at $3,500 on a.
And
shot.
that too, I wanted, because I know of our budget, I wanted to try to have 5 staff members go, but kind of alternate days. So if we can do it local and not everybody stay over, like maybe 2 stay over and then during the days they can go. But I have to, again, see the agenda and see how it'll work out if we can do that. They do also have grants, so
Why
I
do
can
we-
apply
Why do we stay
for
over in Lake
grants.
George?
We've stayed over in the local entities because of the evening events that they have. Yeah,
And there's.
Stays on the share ticket on the way.
There is a value to the networking if that's what's actually going on.
I know with that particular conference, that is what's going on. It's pretty dry. I've gone to a lot of them. You do get a lot of state civil service.
and
Was
the
that a
state,
fun?
the state is
Pretty dry.
actually there.
Yeah.
The state's actually there the whole time too.
That's what I'm saying.
Within the whole event, like they're there the whole time. And the commissioner of civil service, he attends and is there the entire time too. So it's a good chance for us to get our voice directly to New York State Civil Service.
So what do you figure just the Lake George portion of that is?
He says it's $3,500.
Oh, which
Yeah.
That's for
I
35.
thought you said you would consider not going to the others, so I thought there was money in for those too.
There is,
They're broke
they're
down in
broken
different-
down.
Both different categories.
Oh, they're all in different categories.
Yeah.
That's not all one conference.
Okay.
Separate.
So we'll go with the lowest, the notary. Is that something that happens every 4 years? This is the year.
Yes, yes.
Any other questions? Yes, Scott.
Just a statement, mostly, I do understand the importance of networking and those kind of things, I just, in this year's budget, I overnight stays 20 miles from what I mean. So, and that's, I think that would just, right now, would be irresponsible, so, it's my opinion.
I guess I have a little different view. I look at it and I say, we can take and put the homeless people up in hotels, but we can't take our people and put them in a hotel for training.
I know how I feel.
That's,
You need to-
yeah, well, there's much more, there's a lot of those, Brian, but no, I understand. But it's a lot of the stuff that you get from these meetings. And have been in the department head, is the stuff that you learn from talking afterwards. It's like us talking to each other as supervisors. We pick up stuff that we don't even realize that we don't know until we're in an environment where we can ask the questions, get the answers, so people have gone down that road before.
What about, what,
And I
except from
question,
home after those events?
depends on how late they stay there talking.
Danielle, for the civil service conference, how, can you break that down for me if it's, I don't know if you have it written. So how much is the registration and how much is the overnight hotel rate? of that 35?
Again, I don't have this year's numbers, they don't give it to us, but last year's estimated cost for the conference was 2,200 for 4 people.
Okay.
And 748 for 2 rooms. We actually didn't get individual rooms. We were together. And 2026, I was requesting the 5 people. But we would all share rooms if that was the case too. We wouldn't do the individual.
I guess my
rooms.
question is, how much would it be if we just got 1 room and sent 2
One.
people,
Yeah,
2 people for the registration, or 2 registration fees? And just did 1 room.
I'd have to see the cost. I don't know.
Can we cut it in half?
We can.
Now, just for the room talking.
So she wants to send just 2 people instead of
I might
5.
just not do overnight and just do local and have the staff be able to go and not book rooms. I think I'd prefer that. I'd rather than there.
And if somebody's not comfortable with driving at nighttime, and send somebody else
Yeah.
that is closer maybe.
Yeah.
I have a general question on notaries. Do we have notaries peppered around our campus?
Yes, sir.
So do we need pay for all the notaries that we're maintaining right now in this small stuff? It's going after what Jay said, we're gonna be cutting $60 a clip, but I mean,
Well, we have them because we need them for our new hire paperwork. So if we didn't have any notaries in our office, we would have to go down to the county clerk and have that
is
done.
that the only other location we have notaries?
Not that I know of. Try.
Hey, we have them all over the place,
I have 3.
which. Anyway, just an idea and different idea would be centralized printing, which would make everybody have to walk to a centralized location, but how much would we save? Overall, which is a very unattractive idea.
Well, how much would you lose in man hours walking to go get the stuff
But
that
the
you printed
exercise would
too?
be good as well. I mean, we would get health insurance benefits.
We could get help. Well, it works like wellness.
I don't know.
So make everybody walk down to personnel.
$20.
But if you have a person who has a notary, the pain to get it. And overall, it's that much money, so.
You tried that.
Well, they
I
can
mean,
pay,
I think your employees would be like.
but they can pay for their own out.
And this fee is, this is a $60 renewal fee. That's all it is.
So we set the floor, it's $100 or more after.
So on.
There's the number.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got it now, right?
Got it now. On the conference end, you were looking at cut back $1,000 or $1,200 for the overnight
Yeah.
part.
That was 50%.
Take it down to 17.
Because they
the
say they ran
number we're
out.
looking at 75.
I put 1775, I just got it there.
That's the number.
Yeah, it would be 2.5 people. Who's your half?
According to the day.
Danielle, is there required trainings that they have to go to? So is it law changes that they're learning?
We're learning everything about civil service transformation right now. I know that the last conference we went to, it's hearing it from the state, what's happening for what we're going to have to do as local entities. So this conference is that.
Or is it department head, your recommendation is that you would rather have the 5 people get trained and not have any overnights if that was fine?
Yes.
And this year it was $220 a piece. Just wanna make sure we don't cut you too much, cause I'm sure in the.
I think she said it was 2,200 for 4 people, 2 rooms.
Yeah, 2,200 and then 750 for the, I think that will cover it, the 1770.
I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah. If
All
not,
the
I'll,
numbers floating around.
if not, I'll come back. But again, I'm gonna look at those other conferences and that could be breakage for what I need for that one. If those other conferences aren't valuable, so. or I'll just take the money from that and not go to that. Go to the other one.
So is there any further question? Dan?
I'm gonna be booed to say this.
You're gonna be what?
Booed, everybody's gonna boo me to say this. We're doing this, we're making us feel good, and we're finding 100 here, 100 there. And we've set the threshold at 100, but we're not accomplishing anything.
No.
We all know that, we're not, but it's making us feel good. Now, if we cut all travel, it's $500,000. And I'll guarantee you.
That part's gotta be correct, sorry.
I'm gonna make you boo me in a minute.
Okay, let's hear it. My point.
So when I printed the report yesterday, Mr. Shauna, give the budget officer, the $561,000 number I threw you yesterday
Yeah.
included JTPA, which is $300,000. So it's only $200,000 of county.
It's a $250,000. I mean, you're talking.
It's still $200,000, but it's
And
not.
I'll guarantee
It's
you,
not
every
560.
bit of whatever they go in the conferences can be pulled offline. Because that's where it all originates, online. It eliminates all the networking, of course. But I think we could survive on that for 1 year. I mean, if there's an exception to that where somebody cannot get a credit online. Let them come in and say, I've exhausted all my efforts to get my credits for something, of my license or whatever. And come to the board then to take care of that one problem. But if we don't get serious, all we're doing is setting your feeling good, that we're trying. I mean, we've cut less than 1% out of the budget. No, you're counting what we added for
What
funding.
we added,
that
we
does
haven't,
not
we haven't
count
cut,
the
you're
budget.
probably right. You're probably cut.
We haven't, so that's.
We
So-
closed the gap by 3%, but we haven't.
Yes.
Right,
Drift.
so that, it's all making us feel good, but we're accomplishing nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, oh, you're right.
Yes, you can.
I see your point, but did you just learn anything through the last 2 days about these conferences? By having these conversations?
Yeah.
Yes, so I don't think it's a waste of time and effort. But I think your point is valid too, but Steph Lembrick, correct me if I'm wrong, years ago, her idea for the regional DMV came from one of these conferences, correct?
Right. So we hold back 1 year to get that idea. Next year we'll get the
How do you
idea.
know there's not other ideas that would generate though?
Right.
We got more years to come.
So how much revenue has that service provided us?
See, now you're speculating.
Well, so what do you, you're speculating. Yes, you are, you're speculating, there's nothing and everything you get online. I don't know if that's actually true or not. It may be,
And I didn't say I knew for sure.
speculate, is that correct?
I'm speculating that 99% of it will be done online.
I'll take that.
Well, 1% of the budget. If there's 1%.
Right, I mean, I'm just trying to help people with a solution. That's all. I don't need to feel good. I don't need to sit here and feel good. I need to see results.
Well, that makes you feel good, right?
But thank you.
Well, I would encourage you to continue to feel good and make $1,000 cuts, Mr. Shaw.
Yeah, because it gets us that much closer before we have to make the bigger cuts.
So what do you think we should make the cut for that?
We're working on the budget. I made the motion. It didn't get anywhere so that we eliminate all travel.
And this isn't much difference in the conference right here. We're all networking, coming up with different ideas, and somebody's gonna say something's gonna spur something else, and that's how we get to these cuts. It's the same idea.
You mentioned, then we get to the big cuts.
Well, we're gonna have to find bigger cuts somewhere because you haven't got down to 40% yet.
You're talking about, we're not talking about less staff.
We could be, we could be
But
talking
nobody's
about.
brought that
But
up.
that's where I'm gonna go.
That's nobody's brought it up.
Mr. Hogan, yeah.
At this point, I think we should be asking every department head whether or not they need their full team, because if we're not looking at.
Well, they've gotta be
That
asked.
number, we got, say Warren County, we have 50 employees higher than Warren County, roughly the same area, man, roughly the same miles of county road. Right,
Smaller population. 25,000, greater homeless percentage.
ours are smaller,
Yes.
and are you sure theirs is a greater homeless percentage?
So ours is homeless percentage.
Are we?
But
We're not sure there are.
the employees needed more.
Oh, no, I don't think so either. So that's the point. It's like, so we're saying we probably ought to look at 50 employees or 50 positions in this county. Then that's.
And that's a little
Gotta be
different
having every
because
department.
they
Well, that's
have-
your standards, you know. Is
they
there
have
anybody-
more
Hang out, Brian,
full-time-
hang out, Brian, hang out. Is there anybody in their department, you, or position, not names, that you could live without? Okay, so that's a
Unless
no.
we
But
change
see, I'd like to hear you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to add, unless we change some of the services that we offer or provide, right? So there's a CLIP program, right? County Wellness Program. That's something that was an initiative that was started in order to help curtail the cost of our claims for health insurance. Is
Didn't
it
work.
necessary? Is it? No, it's not necessary. It's an extra thing that we're trying to do to help control costs. So
They work.
And it didn't work.
They feel
how
like
do you
it.
know? It's
We
one of
don't
those things you
know.
don't know, right? I mean, you
I
call,
quantify.
We don't know the cost we avoided is the
Right.
problem.
our claims are high.
Our claims are high, so we don't know what.
So to go back with the differences of, we are higher in part-time than them, and so it's kind of our full-time and their, it's apples to oranges.
I don't know where that comparison came from.
I have Warren County's staffing pattern.
We have 563 full-time. There's no way they have 60 less than that.
We have more than that.
We do
No,
not.
we have-
I file a report every month. I know what we have.
Why is my report?
I was just looking at that, but
Yeah, I'm going at the one that was adopted.
So I'm not talking about staffing pattern. You're
I'm
funding
talking-
positions that don't have bodies in them.
Well, I agree
We
with
pay
that.
563 people.
Right, but we pay for all of them in the budget.
That's
what I
something
mean.
that
So
we,
I
That's what we
compared the
need to
two
look
staffing.
something we
packages.
talked about.
Yeah, we're both funding right to the brink. So they had, they're under 700, we're over 800.
So that brings us back to where we were yesterday, because I asked the question when we first started out yesterday in your part. Do we know how many we actually have that we're putting in the budget? Okay?
And that's why I asked.
And
Good hiring freeze to not.
And do we can take out those fringes and the cost for those that we've got in the budget if we're not gonna fill them. And that gives us a realistic figure of what we're looking to get for within the budget. But until that, we're just, we're saying that we got people in the budget that we may or may not get.
So the county administrator's office puts out salary sheets to every department. Those sheets list every vacancy. So yes, there is somebody who can give you that report, Mr. Hall.
Okay, yes.
We are,
I just think,
the past practice of this board is to fund those seats. I think the question has been asked, do we want to continue to fund the vacancies? Because you can cut the budget without cutting people.
right,
Was the point. And I tried to do it for 2 months now and.
Brian,
Stop
that's,
the martyrdom, bro.
yes, I'm gonna give you a
Can't be a
challenge
martyr,
today.
you're
Let's
not
see
dead
how
yet.
many conversations we can have where you don't go, I tried to do, I said, or I'm gonna. It's a team effort. Let's go with this
It's-
team and move on.
It's very good. It's a team effort, but you fought me on it before, so why would you not fight me on it now? I'm just trying to put to the fact that that's what we need to work together on. Those were the numbers I was trying to get early on. Because if you could stop that flow now, it really helped.
I got, Brian sent me the staffing pattern for Warren County. They have, in their staffing pattern, 741 full-time employees. Of that, 26 are the nursing home. Their total employment is 823 with 82 part-time. And I'm not breaking that down. So we have in our staffing pattern, 845. 223 of those are part-time.
Our election inspector. So you can't even,
No, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at.
it's not, like Brian said, it's not apple to apple.
It's, yeah.
The elected inspectors should be taken right out of the conversation.
And I think I don't think they do SRO, or they do the. Cops.
But when you look at our part-time number, it's skewed by elections. You gotta pull those out.
Right.
Chairman,
Why do we give a crap what Warren County is doing?
because you're trying to compare to their salaries, and if you're gonna compare to their salaries, you gotta compare to what they're paying.
We gotta compare the salary to what we think the job is worth here. We need to talk about what county.
That would
I
be
don't care
ideal.
what Fulton County is doing or anything else. If we've got positions here that are vacant that we don't think we can fill, then great, then. Ban them for this year. Oh, that's fine. There's 90 positions,
And
$1 million.
But the fact that we've got,
Make it.
you know, more or less are indifferent in Warren County, what we need is the right number of people to do our job.
Right.
Presumably with our travel times and things, we've got some differences in highway and in everything else. I mean, we can sit here and holler about Warren County or Saratoga County or Livingston County or anything else, but I don't think that moves the needle a bit, frankly.
Listen,
May I suggest that at each meeting, we talk to the department head and ask them about the vacancies that they currently have. And then tell us whether or not they can do without them, because when we talked about this a week or two ago, it was like, oh yeah, but the attorneys need to be hired, oh, the caseworkers need to be hired.
Well, when we talk to Dan, he really needs at least the one position.
Right.
He has 2 vacancies, he's gotta have one of those.
At least.
Right,
Well,
at least,
The
at
turnover's
least,
so quick that he can't hire us before one leaves.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the bigger problem.
but there's different situations in different
Right.
departments.
The public defender would actually save us money if they get hired.
Right. Yes.
Those are the ones we know.
So
But I
can you
think
make cuts
Dane
there?
is the-
Eliminate the vacant positions.
you guys'
Yeah.
suggestions are basically the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean Melissa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I'm looking at the 2 Bowman
It's a good compromise, rather than saying.
Yeah.
That's our guy.
That might be,
yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's sort of move on to the next slide, please.
My next line is the advertising line, where I did take the 3,000 out, and moved it. Again, it does say recruitment, job fairs, pens. I can cut 1,000 out of this. I use this year's money ahead of time to get into next year.
How
for-
many positions you
for
have to
recruitment.
advertise for after we're done today.
Yeah. The thing is, you can cut 1,000 if you want. It's honestly, newspapers, they don't
I
work.
think of the
Like,
past. Yeah.
We use Indeed. We do have a new program, NeoGov, that we're implementing.
The new website should get better.
Yes, and it's a government jobs website, which will bring more,
But even our internal one is gonna have the
Yeah.
ability to apply online and everything.
right. So I think the going paper is going away, so.
Here you go, Brian, this $1,000.
Mileage to and from conferences, we've been using county cars, so we can cut that $300 too, if you'd like. Since we only spent $225 the year before. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm one.
Let me see, yeah. Okay, so I did decrease the award certificate recognition line due to a $700 decrease in having enough pins for our employees,
Did
so,
your retirement stuff come out of this line too?
yes,
We,
the plaques and
Yeah.
pins.
I know we got some, felt like we got some more than normal coming up.
We've got stock,
You got stock.
yes, we try to stay on top of that ahead of time too. So that should be,
That's gonna happen.
That might be another thing I ask too on the departments is, who's retiring and can we combine jobs and things, because that's a lot easier way to do it than the way.
Then actually cut people, right?
Let's find that out.
Tricia.
we see it. Who's that in?
Okay. Danielle says that includes her
We're gonna drop down to 16.
portions. Anybody have anything with Danielle before she?
Girl.
Jay?
Was that a fun 50-minute?
Does anyone else have
I
anything
gave
for?
you back some money, so.
What in the election might name you.
Well, Brian gets 2 more votes. He's really.
Oh, I do have a,
Staffing.
one staffing request. It's a promotion of my personnel assistant to a personnel clerk. Again, it's taking the Civil Service Institute, gaining the knowledge and abilities to do more. So I want to promote her next year. And that was it.
Thanks, Daniel.
Very much.
So on the personnel aspect, does anyone else have anything else to move for the committee at this point in time? Unless you have anything? No.
Thank you, Dan.
No. All right. Nothing else on the personnel plan? All right, do you have anything for? I think we're on the IT next.
And look, you make it your big.
No, I'm just, we looking at the one here for this one, and we had two of those.
Things up.
Yeah,
The chair, I believe.
I think. All right. All right. So much for the early escape.
Betsy can't call it.
Terry, yeah, we need to, no,
Betsy can't.
I get to adjourn the personnel committee, a motion to adjourn the personnel committee by Jay, seconded by Charlie and Dave. All in favor, aye?
I'd like to call the IT meeting to order for the month of September. For the main purpose of budgetary discussion. Do we need to address the minutes or are we waiving, approving minutes and all that stuff? We haven't been doing it.
Personnel will have another meeting, that's why we didn't need.
Do it there, but here you do.
Yes.
Would someone, do we have a quorum? And if so, would someone like to move the minutes for IT?
I'll move it.
Dave moves it. Do I have a second?
All.
Yeah, you got the word.
I'll second it. I'm on there.
Charlie seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Unless you have any current business for IT, then we'll move right to budget. Okay, so we're starting on page 7.
Do you wanna start there, or do you wanna start with the handouts? I don't know which order makes the most sense.
Well, to kind of do it together.
Start with-
Travel plan summary, yeah, that's a good place to start.
I heard that you all had some conversation about that yesterday, so I thought a summary, one place to look at it, what it is and who would attend would make the most sense.
Carpool.
Yeah, so we did for this year, leave off any out-of-state travel and any what we felt unnecessary travel. So the ones that you see listed here are the spring and the fall conference for the New York State IT Directors Conference, which we feel is extremely valuable and very important for us to attend. Fortunately, it's not a huge expense. They have a standard cost, it's $200 a person, and it includes hotel if you stay. It includes food, it includes everything. So, can't really beat that. The spring one is in Saratoga. That's the big conference, and we'd like to include multiple of our staff from the management aspect to go to that. We don't necessarily all go on the same days, but feel it's very important and beneficial. It's a gathering of all IT leaders from around the state, including the state themselves and many other speakers with,
What's the LD stand for?
well, it's New York State
Local government.
Local Government IT Directors Association. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not local clearing.
Terry, can we swing back to this later? Because
Yes.
on page 50, your training number is much larger than the travel plan number.
It's different. Yeah, training is not the same as travel.
That's what, can we circle
Okay.
back to that?
Sure. All right. So should we start with just the revenue? Is that where?
Well, no, now that you've got the travel plan, let's discuss it. You've got 3 people going, the one, you've got 2 going to the other. Now, we've been requiring or been requesting everybody to only send 1 to them when necessary. So I want to make sure the board understands it. If they want to change this, then we want to let Brian know. If we want to leave it alone, then Brian will leave it alone.
It's 4 people for $800.
That's
But
everything. That's 4-day conference.
That's a good point, but the other point is what Charlie said, anything above $100 is on the table. So that's why I'm asking, if everybody wants to leave it there, fine. If you don't, is the time to speak.
I do feel really strongly with the changing landscape of IT that it's an extremely beneficial conference. And then the other 2 conferences are both AI cyber conferences that are local, they're free. The only cost is a single night of hotel because they're a drive. And
Hotel room, $200 for Saratoga.
They hold it at the city center. So
I'm hearing nothing, so I'm gonna leave the travel plan alone. That's what I'm hearing. So we can move on from the travel plan. So listen, you wanna go on your a whole handout or are we gonna go through the process? Oh, Scott, I'm sorry.
Why would this be any different than the other departments?
Well, that's why I asked that. I mean, that's what I
My
thought.
opinion, one person.
in my opinion, it's because of the changing landscape of IT and all the different roles that we play within the department. Being able to talk to their counterpart at these conferences from other counties around the state. Counties, large cities, and the state itself.
I understand the value of network. Right now, we don't have that luxury.
And that there's no virtual option available. Otherwise, I'd be happy to do a virtual option, but
Are these mandatory?
they're not mandatory, no. But I believe that we would be losing out significantly by not attending the New York State IT Directors Conference.
I think the difference here, Scott, might be that this is more education. And I think what we've come to learn over the last couple of years is that people that have been here forever in IT are way behind the one that just came out of college yesterday. That's the way IT changes. It's totally like Dave. When Dave first came on the board, he was the one who knew anything about IT amongst us supervisors. And now Dave's behind on all that to what they have today. That's how much it's really switched. Well, you just being honest. I mean, and
I don't. Brian,
So-
I'm
Looking under the bus here and.
You.
I haven't
didn't
backed
handle
up
that.
yet.
You didn't handle that right.
But I was correct. I think you know what's correct.
Okay.
One by the theories. correct?
Okay, you're getting out of control,
Still
Stu.
the same.
Stu's next.
Thank you, Barry. I think this just is informational, information for us so that we understand it clearly. If we, once we get into the expenditures and the budget, there is the patient training staff development line. And when we get there and use this to make.
We can
headway
think
on
about
this.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which was what I replaced.
Just trying to say it a different way.
Thank you.
How much of
Point across already.
how much of the travel plan is already in the educational?
I'd have to look at the line to see, where we divided it out.
Well, I think what
Most
we're
of it's
doing.
not, I
is
don't
we-
believe that's
We've
separate.
got off on the wrong foot. I think if you go with the budget and when you get to a line that they have a question on, you can use this as a reference to where you come up with it. Otherwise, we're gonna get pretty.
They have the
Can I bring Dave out from under the bus because he needs to be able to ask questions and he just.
Nate.
He will.
I think IT is a one department county. Where we really have to be proactive with it, because this department costs a lot of money if we do cut straight. And one thing is with AI. That this department is the one that has to confront AI directly head on before anybody else. And I think it can get very expensive if we try to get too frugal with this department. Because AI is a huge, huge threat to cybersecurity.
David, I'm just gonna by cybersecurity. I mean, cybersecurity, you got kids that are 11 years old trying to crack into our systems. And they change every day and we have to keep up with that because one disaster could cost us. If we lose data, it can cost us big time. Not just reputation. but
Don't we
dollars.
have contracts that cover that?
To cover what?
Data breach? Don't we have companies that cover our systems?
Well, security is about layers. There's like, you can't hire a company and say, you're gonna be my company and I'm never gonna have a data breach, because it doesn't exist. It's truly about layers. And the biggest layer is training and awareness for our own staff and creating our human firewall, because that's 90% of the breaches happen that way. From phishing emails, from somebody clicking on a link they shouldn't have, picking up a USB key, inserting it in, checking personal email, clicking on a link on a work computer. Those types of things are where the bulk of the breaches happen. So we certainly try to prevent that. We have a lot of layers in place to do that. And we can kind of talk through the different layers as we work through the budget. I can talk to you more about them. I would say that if we get too specific into vendors and such, that I'm gonna be cautious to not mention a lot of vendor names. If we do, I would request like an executive session or something to speak freely. Because that alone can be a cyber risk when you start talking about software vendors and things that we have in place and layers on a public meeting that anybody could be listening to, that can create its own target for cyber criminals.
My point was, we have stuff in place to cover that.
Yeah, we have several layers in place.
One of our layers is our personnel staff here. And I think that's the biggest layer.
Well, let's get back to the revenue page.
So we can do revenue. If you don't mind, I just wanted to mention the second page in your packet, the IT capital plan. The reason I wanted to mention it is because I'd like to give you guys an idea of large expenditures that are coming up over the next 5 years, and I try to keep a rolling 5 years for you always. And you'll notice that I rolled as many as I could into 27 out of 26. So I just wanted you to know that before we started going through the budget.
Okay, that's good to know. Getting back on page 7, your revenues, you're predicting to be up how much here?
So we only have a couple of revenue streams. One is through from Al's department, the CCS for the towns. Where the towns pay us, that's the 11,232. And the other is a reimbursement from a cooperative agreement we have with social services, as they pay for 3 members of our staff to support the social services office.
So Terry, I thought there was another person that was gonna be rolled into the contract.
The social services?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the estimated numbers that we have to, the cooperative agreement goes into place in
It
January.
looks like it only went up 5,000. I would have expected to see more of an increase.
That was, we only did estimated numbers because we hadn't had the conversation around converting the existing computer operations coordinator that's in DSS into ours. We didn't have that till after the budget was
So I
already
should
submitted.
find a matching number for this in the social services budget paying you, right?
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Yep.
So Sue first and then Jay.
Looking on the revenue side, you know, we're all working through our town budgets. I'm sure your IT line is getting higher and higher, your town budgets. And we talked about this going back to the county being able to provide for IT in their towns, which would provide additional revenue to the IT department. Rather than having to go out to a private provider, maybe we could go into a shared service with the county. And it's all, might all be a little easier, just throw that out there. It's not something that Terry could do right now, but it's something that could provide additional revenue and deals with towns.
It actually is something I was looking to announce possibly as soon as the next meeting for anybody that's interested and wanting to talk about those options. But I think we're finally there.
Yes.
Sue went up, Jeff.
Scott. Wait, Jay was next.
Sorry, Jay, I didn't see you there.
This was more for Al. We have 3 positions that we're getting funded for through DSS from IT. Are they 100% paid for or,
Negative.
okay? Are those 3,
They're 100%, including
So
fringe.
they pay you 100%. They're not paid 100%.
Oh, I gotcha.
and those 3 positions are totally dedicated to DSS?
We do 3 positions so that we can support DSS. So they're not dedicated, they all.
They're on
do town
retainer.
work.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, so me and Al are wise, does it won't, I mean, I know you have 3 people to cover it, but is it a full-time person each week, probably covering 40 hours a week at your?
So this has been kind of a long process that we've been working through to understand the needs of DSS. And previously they had 3 people down in their office that were separate from IT that really managed IT. We didn't have a lot to do with it other than some consulting and working through that process. Except that one of our staff members was one of the people that was down there, and then 2 full-time DSS people. One of the DSS people left. And so when they did, we looked at it and said, let's revisit this. Do we need to backfill this position? Or is this the time that we really look to consolidate social services IT support within the IT department? And that was the direction we chose to go. The staff member that was left down in IT in DSS moved physically into our office last year. So he's been there for about a year now. And it's going very well. We had weekly meetings for a while. They're up to bi-weekly meetings now with social services to make sure there was no drop in service or anything, having all the staff physically in our office. It's allowed us to cross-train people from social services and have multiple people that have state accounts to support that unique environment down there. And it's also allowed them, all of our staff or their staff to cross-train even into the county so that we all understand what's going on. And it's led to great collaboration, continued training, just being with your peers and being able to have a team to support when one person's out, one person's not. So it's been, I believe, a real win-win for everybody.
Scott. Dave.
Year to date on your revenue line, we're about half of what I could see, like 23, 24 justify this year's number. But do we have more bills coming in, or are we gonna have a carryover from that?
It's just a cooperative agreement, so they just pay every month when it's submitted. I'm not sure when DSS submits it, but I would assume they're a little bit behind. Al might be able to
talking
answer
about
that
the
better.
overall
Revenue? Yeah, I only have those 2 revenue streams.
And like I said, right now, we're a little over half.
And you got a quarter left.
Right.
By the time all the DSS bills cycle through, Mr. Hahn, it will catch him.
Okay.
And this was printed, back beginning of August, so.
It was over a quarter there.
Yeah, so, right 5 months or so.
Dave.
So just for clarification. DSS gets all their equipment from the state over there.
No, they don't. So the state supports their network equipment, so switches and routers of that nature. County purchases all the laptops, computers, and all the other hardware.
They reimburse us for that.
It's in the DSS budget, so I am not 100% sure.
Portion of that is reimbursed from the state.
And they used to pay for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Charlotte.
1,000 cuts.
So, I have a question on our maintenance contracts and not collecting revenue from the areas that, where are we? Like our maintenance contract for the Department software sheriff is $190,000. Why aren't we hitting the sheriff to get revenue in that sheriff would be more concerned about getting the best use out of their technology?
So I don't know all the history, so others might be able to speak a little more on the history, but right after I started, we started consolidating all of the IT expenses into a single budget. So that way we could have oversight, make sure that we were able to evaluate all of those contracts, and then on a yearly basis, we also evaluate all of those contracts. I work very hard to negotiate them as well.
I think
Make
that's a
sure we're-
really good idea for making sure we're not overpaying on contractual services. But one of the things that I think is very important is maximizing the utility of our investment in technology. And if people see the charge line, they're gonna wanna charge, they're gonna wanna understand it better than when I use it or get rid of it. You're not,
Right, and
What you're saying is if we charged each one of these back, it would be a little more careful on what they bought.
and they would wanna use it more and get money out of it, get productivity out.
He's saying to charge their line and leave everything in IT. And that way they'd say, oh, my price, why did my price go up to IT? And, you know, it's not worth that to me anymore.
It's like health insurance, you don't know
Yeah.
how much the town's paying for, you only care about your bottom line, but if you don't,
well, I will say that every department is very active in negotiating the contracts and picking and choosing what it is they
That's what I
have.
was, as one of the department heads, I could tell you that we are actively involved, whether it's in my budget or not. Terry doesn't do any of my maintenance agreements, her and I review, so even like our New World agreement. We literally go through all of the lines that are charging us together, and I can tell her, Terry, we really don't utilize the contract. Let's cut that out of the, so we do that as a practice, if that's of any consolation to you, we do that as a practice.
it makes sense.
All we did is change where it lives in the budget. So like, mine used to be in my budget, the sheriff should be in his budget. It's like, they were scattered all around the county, and there was a disconnect between IT. So what we did is we took them out of everybody's department, centralized them, which now forces the department head to talk to Terry. Right? So Terry was left out of the loop before. Now we have to engage Terry because it's in her.
But it, just so if my department doesn't see $200,000 a year that I'm not being charged for it, I don't think that I'm as bad off as I actually am, and I'd be looking to use that $200,000 more effectively. Maybe I can reduce the staff. I didn't know there was productivity gain here because I'm not paying enough attention. I'm not paying for it.
And we can look at the individual ones you're referencing, the specific one you're referencing, the bulk of it is body cameras. And there's not gonna be any way, you can't reduce that, you know, unless with this day and age, I don't believe.
And it also does, we don't cost that in the sheriff department. Or do we?
So
The maintenance of it.
where I think your question is very interesting is everywhere else in our county budget, we are focused on net cost.
Right.
We lose a net cost valuation by centralizing the cost, right? So if my accounting maintenance is in Terry's budget, you don't get to really see the cost of the treasurer's bags, right? So we do lose that. I hear that.
But you could add that back by just charging them back.
You could do a simple chargeback to
That's
regain that net cost of.
Basically like carpool.
Basically like carpool.
Yeah.
You could charge those contracts back to regain that net cost valuation.
That's
And
something
that
we
would,
could technically do even with
We can-
staff time.
We could do that now.
It just,
You track that already, except now we're spending each
it's
department.
already.
Every week.
Right, but that's something that the board could direct us to, and we could do that in 5 minutes. I mean, that could be done now. That's not even a 26 thing.
but that's not having any impact.
So it
No,
doesn't.
the price would still be the same,
Doesn't-
but it would show the net cost where it belongs.
Right.
And how people look at it.
Dave, you have a
little bit
question?
different.
So not just a statement, I think that when we've looked at this, I mean, you go back pre-Terry years, we were doing a lot of in-house software and we're sort of losing track of the time spent on it. And we have more cycle to maintenance charges, which has increased our software subscription costs, but has lowered the need for programmers around. So, you know, I think it's good that it's centralized in one place, whether we charge back, and that's another thing, but it's good and centralized in place and one place, because IT is now checking to make sure that the software is up to date, making sure that everything's working right, and it's a review of what effective that software is. So I think that's better served in the IT department than.
We all agree on that. I mean, that wasn't even what we're talking about, so. That's not an issue.
What I'm offering up is a way to regain the net cost approach by sending
Yeah.
a chargeback. We can do
Right.
that very easily.
So can I make a motion from finance that we do the charge back?
Sure. And we can, Terry and I can actually accomplish that in 25, so that you have a basis going into 26.
Charlie?
And I'm sure.
Oh, wait, I got a motion. Well, you got a
Well, I
motion.
don't know. I don't
I
know, you
second
need
it.
I don't know that you need a motion to make that happen.
If I get a directive from the committee, I don't need a
Right,
formal
you don't need a
motion.
formal motion.
So that motion dies.
Director,
Director
please.
stays.
Request.
It could be-
Charlie,
it could be
you have your hand up?
a simple request.
Next question. So if I understand correctly, we're gonna still do the budget this way, and then you're just gonna charge it back into the departments?
Nope.
Because
We'll be amending the 26 budget as well to show the charge.
Budget, show it.
about another outside thought, I thought when we moved it all here, it was one way to definitely keep track of it all and pull that out because IT maintenance contracts and whatever, we can't really control in the departments, and it was a good way, because Brian uses it as a reference, that there's increases that affect every department, so it rolls in here, so you can't, it's gonna be harder to say, well, DPW went up, 200,000, but some of it might be their maintenance contracts. When we kept the IT out, it was easier to keep all the technology in one spot. I don't really care which way you do it, but it's a different point, because now you're gonna make it look like some of those budgets went up a lot. But this way, Terry's been able to keep really close tabs on it, and I think it's been a huge benefit over the time.
But I think that's the part you're missing. We're not changing any of that.
But
It's just gonna be like an interfund transfer number
Understand how that.
in and out, so it's gonna show the revenue on her side and a cost to the department of what the department actually costs.
Well, I'll be also asking the board to amend the 25 Supervisor Cutler so that year over year you don't see a spike.
This is basically a mirror image of the conversation we had 5 years
I
ago.
know, we're going back the other way.
It's going back with you.
That's what we do. We have a pendulum.
Because we-
Yeah. But we're not taking anything away from where it is.
This does give a better net cost approach. It really does.
Yes. So.
We can, the thing I would be a little hesitant on that is how do you determine whose software it is for some things? It won't always tie back to a single department.
No,
Make
some
sure
of it
it's
will still
countywide.
be, some of it will still be centralized IT software.
Because it's.
But like
includes
New World,
everybody.
New World will probably be charged back to me. Sheriff will be
Okay.
charged back to the sheriff. IMO or whatever they're using it for property will be, right, so some of them will be identifiable.
Cassie, you have a question?
You feel that this isn't working for you in the future, if you would please bring it back, because we already changed our mind once and twice, we can do it again.
Sure.
But I mean, you would have, it would be the biggest disadvantage for you because it's up in control.
Yeah.
And now it's being taken out of where you can watch it.
No.
No, I get what you're saying, but it's- in my perspective, it is. You
It'll
guys look
actually-
at it your way, I'm looking at it. my
It'll
way.
actually make her department better because she'll have more revenue.
So
Whoa, right now, we're in the budget process. What this discussion belongs either in government ops or in finance. We're working on our budget.
We have our direction. We're good.
Okay,
So just. to
so
clarify,
we gotta get past that date. We
this
gotta
is
move
bu-
on.
This is budget. When we look at a budget, we'll still see these subscriptions in her budget.
Yes,
And what we'll see in the income line on page 7 is that
portion of
Hopefully-
that,
all of it is up there's revenue coming in.
portion of that. will have
Okay.
revenue.
I agree. We are gonna see this.
Yes,
Which I think is
exactly
part
the
of what
thing,
we
right.
Correct.
Which has nothing to do with what we're doing right here.
Well
So
done.
happily,
Charlie.
we can move on. Charlie, I'm hoping you're moving on.
No, I have just one question. I'm sure we do this. We have seats in our budget that are not filled, but we're not paying licenses for what isn't being used, are we?
No, I
Right,
mean,
right, just.
Yeah.
Our licenses are
Don't
attached
do a
to
bulk
people.
license.
and not all are attached per user.
Right.
Not everybody licenses it that way anyway.
So part of the question was, we went by 100 seats, you got 100 people using it. We may have an empty spot for 6 months where we're not using it, so we're paying for the seat, but we're not using it. So
That may happen if it's a yearly contract.
Is everybody done with the revenue side? If so, we're gonna move on to the expense side. And Harry had the handout sheet, so if we go along, anytime it needs to be referenced to the handout sheet, we'll have you explain it. Now,
47, page 47.
I'm on page 47. Brian, do you want to discuss this as being the budget officer, how this is going?
Well, I'll let Terry actually present, I think, is probably the best.
So you don't have any questions, Terry, make your presentation.
Okay, so I did try, I always try each year to break this down for you folks, just to try to make it a little bit easier, so it doesn't look like a big blob of a number, and you can kind of see where things go. You'll see that the pattern that we have it broken down by as we work through is which department it's part of, whether it's software or hardware. And so we can kind of work through that. The first category, the computer equipment category, is one of the categories that are new things. So these are going to be new purchases for this year. I always break them out and put them into the 2020 line. So for this year, we have our standard PC replacement, which I did actually reduce 25,000. We've had great success using the AgBuy laptops. They're so much less expensive than some previous purchases we used to make. The smaller size, we don't find to be an issue, so I've reduced that by 25, so it's 125 instead of 150 this year. The SAN, our SAN is up first port this year. We do have to replace that. That's the largest expense that we have.
What's it saying?
It's storage, centralized storage. So it's the storage that everything sits on and all the servers connect to. Excuse me.
Sam,
No, but on the total, they're at 306,000.
Yep.
Okay, does that include, I don't wanna say this. So, let me go back to what you said earlier in the personnel thing. So do we know how many of those are projected to be maybe for empty seats that we don't have or we're employing it? If we were to put a freeze on, would that reduce that number significantly?
No, none of them are for people per se. These are for the county itself. So, you mean in terms of the PC replacement? Is that what you mean? No, I mean, that's a number that it's all encompassing in terms of the PCs we plan to replace next year. But we have a mishmash of PCs. So we're gonna have some that are like public safety PCs are gonna have to be replaced, and you're talking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a piece for those, versus a laptop for a standard user, which is $700, $800. So there's, a variety. So there isn't any.
So, yeah, let me rephrase my question, because I don't believe it's so important. So these would be for people that are actually in the seats now.
Yes.
We wouldn't
computers that are
project it for any employees that aren't on the books.
Correct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sue, well, wait, did you have your hand up, Cassie?
And you told us you pushed off everything that you put. So these figures here, you have 130 and 30 for the purchases. And on the budget part, 135 and 37, is there extra background stuff that's
So.
numbers don't match, so I didn't know.
Right, so I apologize. That is absolutely a typo on my side. We got the updated numbers at 37 because prices unfortunately are going up. And I neglected to update my 5-year plan. So I apologize for that oversight. Thank you.
Sue? Question?
Cassie just asked the same question.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you. I wish it was the other way.
yeah, me too. Any questions on the 2020 section? There are.
The tax printer,
Mhm.
tax print bill, where does that, coincide with what happened in real property in the printer folder?
No, that just stuff.
Stuff
the
it all.
That's
envelopes.
just a stuffer.
Oh, that
Just
wasn't
a
a
stuffer.
printer either, that was just strictly a stuffer?
Yeah,
Okay,
So these are 2 printers to replace printers that are literally 15 years old. And we're just afraid they're not gonna make it through another tax season and they're just not fixable anymore. So we need to look to replace them with 2 high volume printers.
okay. Questions on that? Charlie?
Backup question on our storage. Do we store the DSS records as well? Are they all electronic?
Social services is on the state network, so the state manages all of that.
That data set, so how big is our data set? Is everything now digital? Everything?
45 terabytes
45
roughly.
terabytes?
We have a lot of data. Yeah, that's for all the departments.
A lot of ours is in the cloud too, Storm.
We do have some stuff in the cloud and we're moving towards a distributed environment. That's one thing I think you'll see as a trend over years as it continues, because you're not gonna see it right away. Is as we move and we are more distributed, so we have some things in the cloud, some things local that are on-premise footprint and start to reduce. And so we may not need quite as much storage that we have on premise, but we're not there yet. So it'll be in the next cycle that you would see that.
Bob, all this discovery material, especially the body camera added stuff, those stores have all plays that.
No, that's in the cloud.
Any
We
other
do have
questions?
some that is stored locally from previous that we can't get rid of. So that is part of our footprint, but it's not current.
Next one here is telephone. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. Does anybody want to dig into the telephone part? Then we'll move on to non-capital software.
So the non-capital software group is a group where we have, again, new purchases for the year that I try to break out so that you all can see what's new and not something that's recurring. There are, so a couple of the items in here, if we have to push it, I see Lisa left, but if we had to push something out, there's a couple items in here that we could potentially push, and I can push it to 27. The first one is for the clerk's office. We were looking into some digital queue management software. So essentially, people come into DMV, they sign in, they don't have to stand there in line, and they can go out to their car, other things to reduce some of the
Congestion.
congestion, thank you, perfect word, down in the DMV office and be able to help them to better maintain it. That we estimate to be about 5,000 for the first year. Same thing with the second line, which is, this is cybersecurity software. So this is an add-on module to some software we already have that we really would like to purchase that would give us some better view into our environment. But if we had to push it to the following year, we could.
Dana, you have a question?
Yeah, Terry, during COVID, they had that text appointment.
Yeah, they don't do appointments anymore though. So it's not really appointments, and so that software doesn't work for the digital queue. It's more like, if you think of take a number, you know, when you walk up to like the deli line, it's similar to that.
What it is. Text, fine, and I understand it was for appointments at the time, but since they work around using a text system.
So
Spending money.
well, that's what it would be, is very similar to how that worked, but the actual software doesn't work that way. It's only scheduling. So this would be new software where they walk in, they have an iPad, they say, I'm here, I'm checking in, this is what I'm doing. And then they put in their phone number and then they go back out to their car and it will text them when it's their time.
But without the $5,000 cost.
No, that one still had the cost. That was even more. Yeah, we reduced that down and we moved to a different scheduling program since our scheduling has been very limited now.
Okay. Thank you.
Dave,
I appreciate your offer in deferring the cybersecurity software, but I would feel a lot more comfortable if we had it in place.
Yeah.
We're not $15,000 you drop in the bucket towards something could happen.
I'd like to get a little early on the curve with you on
The
The
that. That
9-year
was your
old,
joke, Brian, not mine.
next line, I actually,
Thought it was a joke.
I think may come in significantly less than that. It's for DPW management software. We've been looking for management software for some time now. We had a great demo yesterday on some existing software they have that has to be upgraded this year. We've been talking about upgrading versus replacing what they have to fully encompass the department and not have it be segmented just to, for example, the motor pool. And so, I'm waiting for the numbers. I don't have them yet, so.
can I ask a question about this? And this is gonna first sound a little sarcastic. We spend $48,000 to improve management. Yet we don't reduce any manpower, we don't reduce any cost in DPW. Why even have it? If we're not, where are we gaining to have it?
Isn't that on salt and all that?
Right,
We're not
so-
gaining on it.
So the centralized management software.
That's management, this isn't so.
Is what?
Yeah,
Is it,
the-
Barry, this is for the trucks and the salt distribution?
So-
Right, Or is that the other one?
So it's not my department, so I don't wanna
And
say too
I'm not,
much, but I
Yeah.
will say that it's software that manages their entire organization, which would allow management within that department to get reports, to find deficiencies and to look at everything in a single pane of glass. Currently, you'll see as you go through the maintenance contracts line, the DPW line for software is the smallest of any, which is fine, but they just don't have anything but little in-house programs and like a spreadsheet here, a program here, so everything's kind of scattered. And so we're really hoping to find some efficiencies in centralizing those operations so that
okay,
everybody within DPW does utilize the same software and then management's able to get the reports necessary out of that.
so I'm gonna, here's another sarcastic statement. If we have it's in the budget, I saw, for a deputy director down there. We spend 48,000 a year to improve management. Do we need the deputy director?
But this is not gonna be a quick fix. I mean, if you can get the software this year, it realistically will take a year or two for them to fully adopt and utilize the software and get it in place.
Oh, but once we hire the
Process.
deputy, then you've got the deputy. We don't need the management. See what I'm saying? I'm not, this has nothing to do with you.
I know.
This is,
No, and I think that was that's an ask. It's not in the budget.
it's not in the budget.
Not at this point, no.
Yeah, we should, maybe we should explore more what this software does over what we're doing now, which I
And
don't think Terry knows exactly. And there's software out there that takes pictures of the roads while you drive by and gives you scheduled timing of when you should actually be doing the resurfacing.
But why
This
isn't
is-
this saving us money? I mean, we can find,
We
there's
haven't
a
bought it yet.
program.
We haven't done it yet.
This is-
No,
I
but
can- but I can answer
we've been
that.
adding programs down there and we've been adding programs everywhere. And then all it does is cost us more money.
I think the only program that we invested in down there was for the use of
I didn't
salt.
say down there, my
But, like,
statement was general
Okay.
overall.
I think, it was
And
actually.
Sue had
using the salt.
had her hand up first.
I heard a suggestion that you can negotiate this at a cheaper rate.
Well, we haven't decided on the software yet. So this is a quote from a vendor that many other counties use. And that was why I used that for my budgetary number. But I don't know for sure that we're gonna move forward with that vendor or if it's somebody else. So we're still have to evaluate. We're
So this would
looking
be
at
high-
different options.
This would be a high amount.
I would say that's a high amount. And hopefully it would come in less. I always try to come in less.
Right,
You
you know,
usually do.
you
Yeah.
usually do.
Significantly.
That's the point, you usually do.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, can we remove 10,000?
Possibly. And if I don't come in less, I could always come back and ask for it.
Budget isn't fine with that, like, because haven't you guys had time to review it and come more, maybe by the time it comes around through the DPW, they'll have a better answer next week,
Maybe.
or before this gets signed, when we can make an adjustment then. Because it's all, like you said, it's new yesterday.
Is it
Yeah.
still in the DPW budget?
No, it's,
Just working with DPW, so.
And you know, the point that, and I agree with you too, I'm all for this. But we're really we're involving DPW and you're just kind of the pass through. And it's unfair to you for us to cut this without Debbie having a better explanation and how it will benefit the county.
And some of those you might negotiate lower and some might cost higher, so that's where the problem lies, just like they did with the Symetra.
I will
It
say we
went up
do have
$100,000.
software down there that's end of life that we have to upgrade. So we either have to upgrade or replace. So we have to do something this next year.
Jay,
When you look at all these programs and sit down with the department head to see what they can do, and there's several options. And you look at the cost, you also take into consideration the cost of the service contract, because one might be a lower price, but $50,000 a year service contract. Making it a lot more expensive. Two, if we're paying $40,000 or $50,000 a year on a service contract, shouldn't they be upgrading those programs right along? So we shouldn't have to buy a whole new program every 3 years for another $100,000?
Well, and they do actually, the direction that most of these are going, creating the distributed environment is they are SaaS or cloud hosted applications. So there are no upgrades. They really are shifting from a capital expense to an operating expense. And that's why you see the subscription lines, which we'll get to, going up
Which is
so much.
huge.
It is.
Oh, this
And
is
we have the
next
software
slide.
companies that figured that out, that, you know, we can keep things on site and we could never upgrade them, you know, and keep them behind, but, you know, so that they're not out in the cloud, and so they just don't offer them anymore.
So Terry,
Now, wait, Dave, I'll recognize you, don't cut in. Dave, go ahead.
I like it.
so Terry, if I
I'm
heard what
running.
you said, there's a lot of DPW programs that we're still writing and maintaining ourselves. And what we're doing is moving away, finally getting them out of the old software into new software, which has been a long struggle because there has been really great DPW software. And that's history. I remember doing that. So we are consolidating it, and just because in software doesn't manage people. Software gives you the tools to manage people. I remember Al saying at one time, if he didn't have all the computer systems he did, how many more people would you need in there?
So I've told the story 1,000 times. Part of my shrink from 13 to 6 people was due to efficiencies in technology. I know that for a fact.
So let's say it's $600,000 a year
That's what.
in personnel costs.
And that's a wonderful point. It works there. We spend the money on technology, we see the rewards of it. How come this isn't happening anywhere else? That's
Well,
my-
I think
Maybe.
I think it's
I
a
didn't
good
know about
example,
that until you mentioned.
right, a good example on the DPW, and that was installed when I was chairing it, was the salt monitor. We
Yeah,
cut
sure.
down their salt monitors. Man, I mean, we'd save what, Brian, a couple of $100,000 a year.
We've cut it by about a third, the amount
Yeah.
of salt we use.
So I mean, that was
But
one of
we
the
just-
onboard truck
Yeah.
Last
software.
year's in DPW.
Yeah.
Chair.
And what, if you're talking dollars, if you've done a third, you've done over a half in material.
Because
Price has gone up, but our material
We've
deployment,
cut it to a third, yeah. We've
Yeah,
done a
our-
hell of a
our
job, yeah.
deployment. of
Okay, we gotta get out of DPW and get back to IT.
You asked the question.
We did.
Where did we see it?
And we got the answer.
Everybody-
Everybody got the answer. I asked a question, we got the answer.
We
Let's
hope
move
you're
on.
finally learning.
Thank you again, Dave.
That's the,
I just,
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I
you-
just raised my hand. Did that stay in the budget?
What's that now?
That's $48,000.
Here's how I approach things, and I'm hoping you do too, Brian. If there's a motion, it's gotta be to take something out. Any discussion and any opinions are great, but you don't need a motion to keep it in, you need a motion to take it out, and there was no motion on the floor to take anything out. So I guess I could say right now, thank you for making that point. Does anybody want to make a motion to take anything out?
I will make a motion, we take out 48,000, so we have a conversation with Deb down here to find out what efficiency she hopes to gain having a software.
But we have to upgrade the end of life software no matter what.
Okay,
And that's-
48,000.
At least 25 to
Okay.
upgrade.
Leave that.
That
in.
won't
Yeah,
do
let's we'll take out
everything.
23 then.
Do I have a second to that?
Second it.
Second by Sam and Charlie. Well, can one of you actually make the motion? Because he's not
So
on
we-
IT.
Deb needs to know it.
Are we on
We don't know
finance
what,
committee?
until we.
No, this IT.
Oh, I can't make that motion.
Right.
No, but we've got two now that will, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're in IT. Discussion on removing the,
Are we cutting it in half? Is that what you're saying, going from 48 to 24? Is that?
Well, it sounds like it's on hold till we talk, so there's no point in me taking it out and putting it back in, so I think it's just putting on hold, but I'll write it down.
well, what's the motion?
Was to cut it
It's
to
not. If you put it on
25.
hold, leave it alone. So it's a motion to take out 24,000.
Yes.
And is that the second?
Second.
Discussion on removing $24,000 out of that line to be reviewed again in DPW at a later date with more information.
Should be next week.
Sue, question.
I think they just. Our negotiations started.
We haven't picked a software, so I don't, to be very candid, I don't think you're gonna get any more information next week in DPW because we haven't chosen the software yet.
But
So I
she
don't-
will tell us what.
Should tell you the value.
Yeah, she'll tell you what the value is.
So at this point, then we'll re-enter this conversation. I take this amount of money out and do it again. The same discussion at the next meeting.
If public works.
I'm gonna say that's what you'd have to do. Any further discussion? This is IT vote. All in favor to remove?
Aye.
1, 2, I, 3. Opposed? That's carried now, and now all we're doing is sending it to finance and
DPW.
DPW. Is that where you wanna send it to, is DPW?
That's where it belongs, right?
Okay, that's, I didn't, normally everything's been going to finance.
But that's
So
what we
Devin,
did
that's,
34 hours, right?
we got that. Okay, very good.
Yeah,
Sorry for all that, Terry.
No, you're fine, totally fine. It's good to have all the information. The next two lines are. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
Bob, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Cough or something, so I see you.
Jay's lawn mower.
I know you like to ignore me. That RPS software upgrade, isn't that RPS going to replace?
So this is real property upgrade. This is an upgrade not to the RPS itself software that they are replacing. This is an upgrade to, it's called ArcGIS. So it's their other software. They have a bunch of software in real property. It's not just one.
They just use the same term, and I know it.
I did that more as real property services and not software. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the two items in between that are cybersecurity, the cybersecurity DNS filtering and vendor management software. This is what we applied for the grant for and we received the grant for. I did put it in the budget for next year. I hope that was the appropriate thing to do, but we do have 50,000 in grant funding that will pay for that.
Is the revenue in the budget?
No, we claimed it this year, so I think it has to be carried forward. I didn't put it as fresh revenue for next year. We acknowledged it.
They either have to both be in or both be in.
Or if there's
I
50
can't-
left, take the 50 out and move them both next year.
That's what I'm saying, they're either both in or both out.
Is
What
there
do we
50 left?
No, she.
We just acknowledged it last month,
We might have found some money here, hold on.
Oh,
one second.
we acknowledged it.
so I don't know how that works with them. I don't do grants often,
So
is that,
normally what you would do is you would wait and bring your grant in either January or February.
okay,
We budget the grants outside of this cycle.
okay,
So you would take this 50,000 out and you would come back in January and do the rev and expense side of it.
okay. Okay,
In
that's
good shape.
Unless you're gonna, because you're not gonna do any of this year, right?
I mean, we're starting to look at things, but I don't have a problem waiting till next year. I can't guarantee I can do it this
We
year.
didn't,
I don't
we
know if
didn't
I have
budget
enough
for
time.
it in 25.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So you would take this 50,000 out and you would come and budget as a grant in January.
Okay,
Does this help the budget though?
Yes, you just
Yeah.
get 50,000 out of the
I
expense.
just wanna ask where the 50,000 is. I don't see
It's
it.
two lines above, it's the IT cyber and IT vendor, those two
Right up
lines.
there.
No, we're back up there.
20 and
And
30.
account 4021, the next to last two.
So it's the two of them together, 50,500.
Yes, that'll come out and it'll go back into January with offsetting revenue.
okay.
And
No. Jay,
make a motion to pull out the 5,000 Q. I mean, you know, and the time up there, the top one on the line that,
For DMV.
right, for DFP. Yep.
and move it to next year, basically.
I don't care if we move it to next year. I don't know, it's so important to customers that they gotta go out and sit in their car, whether they stand there in line. We're asking older people that probably don't even utilize something like that to pay more taxes to. So
Okay.
the other
yeah.
people that wanna do other things while they're sitting in the car, I don't know.
So I have a motion on the floor to remove the 5,000 out of the county clerk management software. Do I have a second?
He's from finance, right?
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
fine.
you're in,
I'm on IT.
you're-
Yeah, you were on IT, you voted last time.
Don't let him get away.
Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second?
You seconded.
You second, Dave? Dave second, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Vote carried. Now, does that go to finance or does that?
Yeah, it goes to finance.
I'll move it to finance. If you need to have.
Second. So anyway, Sam, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
55.5 out.
Please acknowledge.
Oh, you're on everything.
Debbie has the hardest job
We
today.
gotta get our
She's trying
feet up on
to keep
this
track of you guys and what group. Uncle Whipple.
Okay, moving on, we're now down to the office supplies, equipment, non-asset 15,500. That's the only big number there. People might ask what that is, so do you have an answer?
Yeah, these are non-asset equipment, so equipment under $500, which there's a lot of.
Any questions on that section? If not, we're gonna move down to subscriptions, I think. What this is in there.
Subscriptions, I wanted just to point out a few to you because I know there's a big increase over last year. And it's because we have projects that have been in process this year that have converted to subscriptions once the process is onboarded. The largest of those is for Department of Public Safety and Sheriff's Office. It's the new CAD and RMS system. It wasn't previously in my budget, which is $263,000. That's the largest of them. There are a few others that we were in process of currently this year that we're moving. One is the timekeeping software. That's increased significantly. We're in the process of migrating over to that right now, working with personnel. We have the county attorney and the district attorney. The vendor that they previously had free access to for all of their discovery information, body cam footage and such has changed. And so those lines have increased significantly. Personnel, the new software that Danielle mentioned, that's in there as well, at the bottom, for the personnel software. And then planning, the short-term rental software is a new software to us that we're onboarding right now that wasn't previously there. Public defender software is a project we're in the process of right now with all of their discovery information. So that is a new one as well. And then the software for the treasurer's office that we referenced, we are moving that to the cloud because we have an employee that's retiring that is the primary support of that. And we believe it's a much better fit, creating our distributed environment to go that direction.
Sure.
Sam.
Can we go up to the software for public safety and public sheriff? Was there any grant money that's coming with that can be deferred like we just did with the other one? Next year, no, it's not your work, okay.
Is that 263,000 every year?
I'm gonna ask that question.
$250,000 every year.
Bob has his hand
It's
up.
huge software though.
Go ahead, Bob.
So this public safety sheriff is related to the existing system right now. How does that relate to the software on page 50 for 187 seconds?
New software?
We have new software for the sheriff. 180.
Okay, so they're totally different. So the 263 is your CAD and RMS system. So public safety, when people call 911, their entire CAD system, and then the records management software for the sheriff's office. They're all rolled together. They're all part of the same vendor. To give you an idea of how massive this is it's an 18-month project and we go live in March. So we're working through it. It is very time consuming and it's going to be incredible software, honestly, once we get it up and running. But that's the big thing. In the sheriff's, the bulk of that is the body cam software and body cams in general. And the other large item in there, so 130 of that is the body cam out of the 186, and 38 is their civil platform for tracking civil in the sheriff's office. That's the bulk of it. And the rest are little pieces of software they have for little things.
Dave.
Are you aware of the next gen 911 software?
What do you mean aware?
They're coming out with next gen 911 software.
Just bought the last gen.
Well, I know, but there's new gen coming.
There's always an.
I don't think, I believe this would cover any new gen. There's nothing else that I'm aware of.
Well, wait a minute, the budget officer said you were a dinosaur. How do you know that?
Because I read stuff.
Oh.
After something, but I
Charlie.
This isn't about the budget, so give me this is network. Recently, exploring case files from 911 calls, or people having to find what happened in a 911 call to build the legal files has been a very time-consuming and expensive ordeal. Does this software textualize and maintain accurate timestamps between the devices so that you can do much faster searches?
That would be a question for Tim Hardy. I don't believe this ties into the reporting of calls. That's a different platform. I don't know if it comes into the software or not.
Because that the amount of time they had to do, and then the evidentiary value of it if two devices are not synced, same timestamp goes out the window. But and do we buy any more perpetual license software or none?
Software companies got smart.
Yeah, they
Do
don't,
we have any
they,
perpetual license?
we still have a little bit left, but not much.
Yep, they.
Yeah, those you'll see in maintenance contracts. Not everything in there is, but most of it is. Are things with perpetual licensing. I try to separate subscriptions, meaning, with the meaning being, if we stop paying the subscription, our access completely goes away. It's no longer valid. If you, under maintenance contracts, I try to keep software that if we stop paying, we wouldn't have support and we won't get updates, you know, kind of like Windows, you know, but you can still log in and it'll still technically function. That makes sense.
Any other questions on this matter? Move on.
Okay, the next section is cyber training. And the cyber training is the two Ryan Mylots on the travel plan. I believe it's the 186 and the 188. I don't know if those numbers are exact, but I believe that's what those are covered for cyber training. And we considered cyber training. Are those two conferences. The next is maintenance contracts. Again, I don't have any specific highlights in there. I don't know if anybody has any questions on anything that's listed in there.
It looks like that's another $250,000. Where are your big spikes there?
Cameras are probably the biggest spike that we have in there. The cameras are on a cycle. And so I know in the accounting world, that's not, it's gonna be a 3-year license we purchase. And so I know in the accounting world, that's where it gets a little wishy-washy, but I have to be able to write the check, so I do include the whole 3-year license. Yeah, and those will continue to come as they expire.
And in an attempt to not have the committee's eyes glaze over, I do want to update you. Brian and Terry and I will be having a conversation because one of the disconnects in Terry's budget is the stupid bead counter that sits over here at the end of the table. So the way that I have to do the municipal accounting, so Terry puts in her budget body cams that are a 3-year license, okay? Could be $300,000. She puts that in her budget, tell Brian, I need $300,000 cash to buy something in November. What happens to Terry is very frustrating to her. I then turn around and say, but wait, general accepted accounting principles say that I have to record that over the period of time that it benefits. So what happens to Terry is she then gets costed over 3 years for that purchase that she made in November that she had not put in the 2 years out in her budget. So it looks like she saved $200,000 in year one, but she has another, then she has $200,000 in the out years that she didn't budget for, but she'd already budgeted for it in year one. So her, Brian and I are gonna try to talk about logistics. You know, does she put in the budget the 100,000 for 3 years? Or does she put in $300,000 because that's what she needs to make the voucher go through audit committee? So you'll be seeing more of that conversation, and probably none of that matters to any of you right now. But it's part of how, when you see Terry have a surplus at the end of the year, part of that's because stuff she budgeted for, I've spread out over out years.
We probably would save money if we took the software away from you, so you couldn't do that kind of stuff.
Well, I do that with this little thing right here.
All right.
Maybe that means we should also be not looking at budget year by year. We should be looking at 5-year budget.
And
As we come to this and we're making adjustments for next year in the direction of the following school year.
And Mr. O'Brien and I have opened the door to multi-year budgeting a few times, unsuccessful. The other thing that you could do is Terry could put $100,000 a year in 3 years worth of budgets.
Right.
And the accounting will be right.
But the cash.
Stacy and the audit committee will need to know that that voucher can still be input for the $300,000 cash, because the expense will be spread over 3 years. So we have some internal conversations to have, that you may affect the budget. And like I said, you may not care about that today, but because that's an upcoming conversation, I thought you should know about it.
And I do often try to negotiate into 3-year contracts. I don't typically like to go longer than that because things change quickly in IT sometimes. But it does allow us to get some better pricing and we can do things like that.
Correct. Thanks for your time.
Any other comments or concerns on this? Move on, Terry.
So that was maintenance contracts. I think we're pretty almost at the end. So training, I think, is the next one. So,
This is the one we said we circle back to.
Yep. so the NYSGLITA, you can see that that is the cost that's on here for the spring and the fall conference, $1,200. The $3,000 underneath it is technical training and the $4,000 for management training are above and beyond conferences. They are not conferences. They are virtual training for technical skills and management skills within the office. So it's something I would like to have for my staff. We did recently bring on a new service manager. And because the salaries are low within the county, we did have to hire somebody that was not necessarily fully trained because that's what salaries dictate that we're able to do. This person's doing an excellent job, but we would like to start to do some more training on the management side. With this person as well as technical training to keep people skills sharp. Anyone have
Any questions on travel plan? Dave? No? So does that complete it for you, correct? Or is there more? Did I overlook anything?
So how many retirements are you looking at this year? Just the ones or
One.
is next year? When is this take place?
It's one and it's next year. Yep.
Now, do we need to replace that person or are we able to absorb everything?
I don't know yet. So that's the long story. My
So
plan
how
is
is it
to replace
budgeted?
them. It's budgeted to replace that person, to backfill the position. Obviously, she's been here a long time, so the backfill will be less. But I can't say that I don't need that person. We're gonna try to absorb as many as we can. One of the big platforms, she works on this OWL system. And so we are moving that to the cloud. There's still gonna be some work to do on the data side. So I don't have a great answer. I don't want to remove it from the staffing pattern, but I am willing to give it a few months at least, to get through. I could probably even get through, till April or so before I would make any decision to actively seek a backfill.
And that's the
Okay.
only retirement you see.
I just wanted to go through the last couple of lines for clarification, that was all. Carpool, 3,000, I don't, is that the trainings and stuff? Cause I'm thinking, what's carpool running up and down the road? Or
Nope,
not?
carpool, we have barns,
Okay,
substations.
okay,
that we
that
support.
answers that question. We had computer supplies at 12, then we have repair and maintenance, I mean, what's the differentiation in all that?
Right, well, computer supplies are things like, anything less than $500, so they're like monitors, keyboards, mice, docking stations, things that are less than $500 that would fall into there. Repair and maintenance, is different, so that is a line that's used for, like, we don't do copier repair or printer repair, so we're gonna have to outsource that and bring somebody in to do those type of repairs. So that's what those type of things are.
And there's something that makes it different between a computer supply and a computer non-asset.
So,
Cause a lot of what you just said, like the screens and the
Yep.
keyboard, they're kind of like the non-asset pieces in my brain.
right, and that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
No, this is called computer supplies
Okay,
for $12,000.
all right. I can get more clarification on that if you like, but that on the last page.
It'd be on page,
Yes.
50.
Oh, computer supplies right there. Yeah, that's a great question. So I'd have to get some more clarification on what specifically is in that one. I know that we tried to reduce it over the years. We've used less this year so far. And hopefully that'll continue to go down, but I'm not sure what the difference is off the top of my head.
Well, you amended the budget higher and used less.
And use less.
So that's why I'm trying to. figure out why we amended it to use less.
Is there a bill that should be coming in or something?
What's that?
Is there a bill coming in that's gonna make up the difference? Cause I was surprised you amended that when you said you're trying to minimize it.
Right, I mean, I know that it's got, it could be computer supplies in terms of what we utilize within the office. That's what I'm thinking it might be. Cords, cables, cabling, things of that nature would fall into there, I do believe. Like when we're looking for patch cables for switching or for, you know, all of those type of things would fall in there.
So basically, it looks like you're gonna be under budget for the year. Is that true?
I would not, yeah, make that assumption because this was done in like August and we're not even barely halfway through the year. We have a lot of contracts that still have to get paid. Axon or body cams is one of the biggest ones and that comes out in October.
There are things like, S-port Ethernet switches, patch cables.
Yeah.
Things like that going through the computer
Yep.
supplies line.
That makes sense? Yep.
Well, I think that we've done a
Thank you.
thorough job here, but Terry, one quick question. And that is your personnel profile.
Yep.
And I know you went at length at discussing how we interface it with social services. Is there anybody else that does IT that's down in social services? Or any work that's being done down there that's being done from this list?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
that's all, I was just curious.
there's two positions. There's the IT support specialist one of those and the IT support specialist two are on the cooperative agreement with social services for this next year.
Thank you.
But they're housed up in your.
Everybody's in our office on purpose because that's what gives us the collaboration and team.
So the reason I was asking if you were under budget or gonna be right at budget.
Yeah.
Is because you have over $500,000 in your rollover account. And
The reserve?
Yeah.
Yep, so that's something I was actually gonna mention. I actually had that on my list.
Due to the situation we're in, I would steal that at this point in time if I could.
Yeah, so I know when Al and I put that together, we put it together for unexpected expenses, things that show up that we don't necessarily know about. Over the years, and now on top of my head, I can't think of a scenario that's gonna be a whole $500,000, but I would hate to give it all back. You know, could we split it and take 250
Wow,
and
this is
do
great.
250?
Right there.
And there's just a thought, that was what I was thinking about. I was listening to one of the other committees and I thought that might be something fair to do. That would still allow us to maintain that buffer if we run into an unexpected thing and.
That's why I was asking if you were under budget, cause if you're under budget, you're gonna add 250 back
Right.
at the end of the year. I'd say,
Charlie and then Dave.
Yeah,
So our fund balance as a whole is supposed to be that buffer as well, and then we're keeping buffers at each department. In the situation we're in right now, there's no reason not to take it all.
Yeah, and it's
That's-
one of the few departments, isn't it? The only. There's a lot
Yeah,
of-
there are no other,
The only department.
There is no other buffer, is there?
Right.
Hanging fruits already.
so the three that you can tap, you have now tapped. And it could be something as simple, Brian, as like her first two lines in the computer equipment, their PC replacement and SAN replacement. They're 260,000, maybe that's the number. Maybe you take 260 and leave her 240.
Those could be bonded as well if we have a probable life.
It doesn't help the budget though, Mr. Thompson.
Doesn't help the budget.
Cause this we direct you to use it for, direct them to use it as a fund balance, from the fund balance.
Sorry,
You take that out and put it back in fund balance. Then can't we direct him to use that?
which is what you did yesterday.
Right,
Well, that's what we were looking at.
so we need a motion.
Right.
Need a motion to do something out of IT.
All right, motion, we take $260,000 of that. We put it in fund balance and then direct the budget office to use it to reduce the levy.
So Terry, it doesn't change your budget request at all.
Mhm.
It changes how Brian funds you.
right.
Okay.
Do I have, and Sam Hall seconds it, discussion from IT. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, does this have to go to finance, does it?
Charlie, what was your discussion where you almost raised your hand?
It was a finance question, I think. At the end of the year, does this make us in 2026 200 better off as well? Or no? It's just a fund balance.
Well, it will make us better off, but we're gonna use it as fund balance in the budget, so it's gonna leave, it's gonna come and go. In and
So
out.
money So this comment you're gonna understand because of the conversations we've been having. The downside, Mr. Toe, we are now going to spend money that have been earning interest.
Right.
How do we
Right, so-
spend it?
Yes, we are. If you're not looking for it, you're gonna spend it.
But if you bond it, you'll still keep the money you're earning interest and you'll pay less on the interest that you bond. Maybe.
If that works out.
Would it would be part of the 25 million that- It's part of the 25 million you're already doing.
Right.
In theory.
And
Maybe that's a tan
need-
though, instead of a.
Hey, go ahead.
We need the motion for finance, Brian, do we?
Yes.
The move,
Moved by, seconded by Sam. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, carried.
In closing, I'd like to
I
say,
got one more question.
okay,
Because when you went back to the sheets there, it reminded me, I was just looking at your 2027 projection and you got 200,000 in the sheriff's. Patrol car, PC replacements, whatnot, the chairman put me on this committee when I know nothing about IT, but I remember
he did it to me too.
about back in January, we all clapped because you finally got all the PCs put into the sheriff's car. So are we like on a 2.5, 3 year turnover on all that or?
No, the cars were done in 2021, so they have a 5-year cycle.
Okay,
New cars get.
New cars.
New
so-
cars get
okay.
get equipment, because they have to be stood up. They don't get tablets. So all the cars are equipped with a router that has dual SIM cards, and then that router goes back to a dock, and then they have a tablet that they dock. This is a replacement of the tablets.
Trent, you should be able to count. Apparently it doesn't work.
So
Look at all the new words.
the one thing I want to bring up, because you just said that, was if Verizon's updates cover the whole county, because they're doing a
Yeah,
pile
we
of
give
work
it
throughout
to
the
some-
county. We just have one set of SIM cards, but we need to keep that on our wavelength and test them out probably before we can make that move, but I just want that on the radar, just.
If they do, I mean, I'll kind of believe that when I see it. There's a lot of dead zones that are out throughout the county, and
Oh, yeah.
we previously had only a single. We've only been on the dual for a 1.5 years-ish. And it's made a huge difference for them in
And the
their
single was
environment.
probably AT&T.
Yeah, right, and we actually were able to negotiate it out so that I think it cost maybe $10 a car more than we were paying
Yeah.
for the one. And to have two, so it was really kind of a no-brainer in terms of getting them switched
If
over.
you ever decide you don't wanna do this job anymore, I think the county would hire you to be their negotiator.
Yeah.
Give you a title of county negotiator.
Your percentage of what you say is us.
There you go.
I think we good at
Okay,
zero.
is there anything else to bring before IT committee?
Thank you.
Adjourned today.
Thank you all.
Anything else for finance? We're adjourned.